Good morning, everyone. It is NBA betting today, the live stream on Frenzy Sports, the YouTube channel. It is Sunday, April 10th. Yeah, it's pretty early, but let's get it going. Great times in the NBA right now, really hitting our stride heading into the playoffs. I just want to say thanks to everyone for the warm welcome, the warm reception, and the positive vibes. We're just going to try to keep it going, learn as much as we can every day, and profit and attack from the markets. I'm my guy knows a guy on Twitter as well. This is my YouTube channel, Frenzy Sports. Appreciate all the support yesterday in the NBA and in soccer as well. You know, it was a pretty great day. I went 8-0 on Twitter. Great days. Just make sure you guys follow along. I'm always trying to share advice, picks, sometimes live bets. Across sports. We're just going to try to keep it going, try to profit from our research, profit from our hard work. So, yeah, run up that like button, subscribe to the channel, and definitely feel free to ask me any questions if you have any questions in the chat as well. Good morning to everyone, wherever you may be. Today is we made it to the end of the regular season. It was crazy. Started out with a brand new ball. Players couldn't shoot shots. Every game was going under. Every game was going under. Let me know if you remember when every game went under because of the brand new basketball at the beginning of the season. But yeah, today is the final game of the regular season. It was a crazy ride. It was a crazy ride, but 15 games. Most of the games have implications for either playoff seeding or draft placement. NBA draft placement, okay? Lottery placement, ping pong balls. We know what's going on. A lot of teams are stripping down their rosters as well at the end of the year. We've seen it over the course of the last couple of days. We've been able to profit from some of the volatility, but today I just want to give everyone a word of caution. Just be extra careful. If there's a particular game that you like, wait all the way until maybe the last minute. Don't wait on every single game. I have two picks that I'm going to share right now on the live stream, but overall, especially if you're playing parlays, just be very mindful of the news today. I use Underdog NBA on Twitter. Most of the people in the community use that as well. Today is definitely a day to utilize that resource and keep track of the NBA injury reports. So yeah, I'm going to share a couple of early player prop projections. As I said, many players are questionable today. The sports books are actually terrified to even put some props up because we may have attacked them already. Some of the spreads as well didn't come out until late. We may attack some of the spreads today, but I'll be honest, I'm keeping my bet size at a quarter unit today, until the playoffs. I've been restrained even while I've been winning. I've had opportunities to bet the house on certain games, but I know how quickly things can turn. So let's just I try to treat every day as if I lost the last day. That sounds pretty crazy, but I try to treat every day as if I lost the last day. So we don't get complacent because it's really easy to give it all back. So let's continue. Let me just say good morning to everyone in the chat. I'm going to give you a few early player prop projections that I did. I was up late last night projecting these players. The lines are not up. Maybe a few of them I will attack. I will tweet them on Twitter as well, but I appreciate everyone watching the live stream, trying to get the early information. Good morning, my brother, Chris B. Capin. What's going on, bro? Let's go. You guys make sure you go check out Chris as well. Chris B. Capin on Twitter, Spaces, and his YouTube channel as well. Support the channel. Trying to support everyone that's giving, giving free picks, amazing wealth of knowledge. Good morning, bro. Akbar, you know what's going on. Let's keep it going. So yeah, I'll keep it brief. I know everyone's here for the picks as well. I'm in a good mood. Didn't get much rest, but I'm still in a good mood. So I will keep it brief. Let's get to the injury reports. What I'm going to do right now is just for informational purposes, I'm going to read out the entire. Good morning to everyone in the chat as well. Iana, D. Lee, King, CB23, Collective State TV, Us Gooners TV, James Bond. How's it going? The thing's frozen. I can't scroll down. Blockchain J, how's it going? Kazi Vision, Hornets fan, what's going? Steven Harrison, how's it going? So I'm going to read out some of the scenarios for all 15 games, just as brief as I can. I will speed read it. You can rewind it if you want. And then I'm going to give a couple of player prop projections. And then I'm going to give two picks for today. Pretty brief live stream. Some of these games I'm not going to go too deep in, although there are numerous players out. Okay. We have just in various games, Drew Eubanks of the Blazers, questionable. These are players that are questionable. Drew Eubanks of the Blazers, CJ Ellaby, Monte Morris of the Nuggets, Aaron Gordon of the Nuggets, Will Barton of the Nuggets, Jokic, Jalen Green of the Rockets, Patrick Beverley of the Timberwolves, Cade Cunningham of the Pistons, Mo Bamba of the Magic, D'Angelo Russell of the Minnesota Timberwolves, OG Anunoby of my Toronto Raptors. These players are all questionable for today. Players that are doubtful, the core of the Milwaukee Bucks, Chris Middleton, Giannis, Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis. Looks like Drew Holiday wasn't there. I didn't see Drew Holiday there. Kobe White for the Bulls. Okay, players that are confirmed to be out: Cameron Payne for the Suns, Karl Anthony Towns for the Timberwolves, Brandon Ingram for the Pelicans, Jimmy Butler for the Heat, Corey Joseph and Marvin Bagley for the Pistons, Vucevic, DeRozan, and Levine for the Chicago Bulls, and RJ Barrett for the New York Knicks are all out. That was as of this morning, so obviously there's probably more. There's more. More is on the way. Indiana Pacers versus Brooklyn Nets. 3:30 Eastern today. The Nets, they're pretty much going to lock in the number 7 seed, in my opinion. I don't see them losing this game today. I don't see them. I see this as another tune-up game. I've been talking about it for the last couple of days. It's really scary because this Pacers team has a very short rotation of players that are above average three-point shooters. They're all negative on defense, but they're above average three-point shooters, and they do share the basketball. So, they haven't been getting completely crushed recently. They've been for 4 quarters. They lost, I think, 5 consecutive games by single digits. Then they lost by 13 yesterday. Backdoor cover against the 76ers again. 2 straight backdoor covers against the Philadelphia 76ers. I will be honest with everyone. I'm not going to bet on this game, the Nets-Pacers game, personally. Although I do think it's a tune-up game. I do think this is a game that the Nets can and should dominate, but this is not one of the games that I've highlighted to bet on today. Just wanted to share that. Now, even if they lose today, they could still be the 7th seed, especially if the Cavs lose, which I don't think they will against the Bucks because they may not play anyone. But the Nets can fall as low as 9th place against they can fall as low as 9th place, where they won't get to play a home game in the play-in tournament if they were to lose this game. And obviously, we already know the Pacers have been eliminated. So we have anything else important right here? So there are some implications in the Wizards Hornets game. It's really just centered around where the Charlotte Hornets are going to seed in the play-in tournament. The Bucks and the Cavaliers, if the Bucks win this game, they will clinch the number 2 seed today. So, but they're still not playing anyone. The Bucks, do they want the number 2 seed? There's a lot of stuff going on. They might want the number 3 seed. I don't know. They're trying to. I don't know. It's weird to me. The Bucks are also guaranteed the number 2 seed if the Celtics lose to the Grizzlies today. So keep that in mind. We have the Hawks and the Rockets. The only thing the Hawks can do is climb as high as 8th place today. We have the Celtics and the Grizzlies. It's most likely for the Celtics to be number 3 today, really, out of all of the scenarios. So, just keep an eye on whether or not they play all of their players as well against the Grizzlies. As you can see, there's a lot going on today, so I'm just trying to share some stuff that I have written down. We have the Bulls and the T-Wolves. The Bulls are already locked into the number 6 seed. They could face either the Celtics, the Bucks, or the 76ers, depending on who ends up being the 3 seed today. The T-Wolves, as we know, they're going to host the Clippers in the play-in game on Tuesday. Should be an exciting game. The Spurs and the Mavs. That's why the T-Wolves are, that's why Karl Anthony Towns is not playing today. D'Angelo Russell is questionable, though. Spurs and the Mavs. The Mavericks can climb to the 3rd seed if they win and the Warriors lose today against the Pelicans. That game is on national TV, the Warriors and the Pelicans today. We have the Nuggets are almost completely locked into the number 6 seed, unless the Jazz lose today, which I don't think is going to happen. We have we know the Suns are already locked. The Jazz, they win and they clinch the 5 seed. If they lose and the Nuggets win, they drop to 6th, where they will have to face either the Mavs or the Warriors. All right, that's just some basic scenarios for the play-in seeding today. I'm gonna pull up some of the player prop projections that I have for a couple of the games, depending on the lines, and I'll tweet some of the ones that I played today on Twitter at My Guy Knows a Guy. If you guys can, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on. Let's continue. Okay, so Precious Achua, obviously it depends on whether or not the odds makers offer the line, but I think Precious Achua has a solid shot to get to 10 plus points, to get into double digit points range against a pretty thin front line in the overall for the New York Knicks today. Precious Achua is a player that's been on the upswing. He's averaged 12 points a game, 12.1 points per game over his last 20 games in which props were listed. So if you can get Precious Achua over 9.5, over 8.5 points today, I do recommend placing a small bet on that. Obviously, would be a small bet because Nick Nurse is a wild card here. We don't know what lineup he's going to play. We don't know who he's trying to rest. Precious Achua was questionable before the Houston Rockets game. Okay, so let's see if we can get the lines for this today. Another player I will be targeting is the assist category for Darius Garland at 8.5 or 9.5. If they raise it to 9.5, depending on where the line is. Darius Garland, I know that he's playing against he'll be playing against the backups for the Bucks, but he needs to get reacclimated again with Evan Mobley after Evan Mobley missed some time. So I do see Darius Garland playing big minutes today, from what I'm reading, and then they still have. Mathematically, they can still get the 7th seed, although it's highly unlikely the Nets lose to the Indiana Pacers. But just looking at the skill set, especially if Giannis isn't out there, this is a team in the Bucks that has defended Darius Garland pretty well recently. But without their main guys, I expect that to change today. Might be targeting Darius Garland's assists. Jordan Clarkson's points. I believe today will be a tune-up game for the Utah Jazz. Absolutely ridiculous spread on the road, but even if they rest some of their starters, I think Jordan Clarkson can benefit. I don't see him as being one of the players that would rest in this scenario. Let's say one or two of the high usage guys for the Utah Jazz end up sitting today. There may be value on Jordan Clarkson's points prop to go over. Cameron Johnson of the Phoenix Suns. If we can get 1.5 on his threes today, if they listed, obviously we need to keep an eye on whether or not Monty Williams wants to go for a 65th, I believe, or 66th. I'll look that up right now. Win for the Phoenix Suns this season. But as you can see, I was making money with Cam Johnson when he was listed at 2.5. At 1.5, he's been a highly profitable player in the extremely profitable, as you can see, going over 1.5 at an 80% rate over his last 50 games. Cam Johnson, it just depends on whether or not they set his lines. Sometimes they don't. It's really finicky with the Phoenix Suns roster, and I expect some of the value to be gone here in the playoffs. This is probably a regular season ride, because in the playoffs we're going to get some overinflated lines on the 3-point props. So Cam Johnson, this might be one of the last good opportunities to profit from him if they list his 3-point prop at 1.5 against the Sacramento Kings today. DeAndre Hunter against the Houston Rockets. If we can get 13.5 or 14.5, he's coming off of a bad game, a really bad game against the Miami Heat, but where he was essentially a no-show. But he's a young player who the organization is still trying to develop. I don't see him resting in any capacity against the Houston Rockets. The Atlanta Hawks still have some stuff mathematically to play for in terms of seeding in the play-in tournament. If we can get 13.5 or 14.5 for DeAndre Hunter, I may play this one over. He has a good matchup edge as well. The Rockets, they don't even want to win today. I mean, they don't want to win today, the Rockets. Trust me. This is just a projection. It actually hasn't been profitable. It's just a player that I'm a fan of watching. Alperen Şengün, if we can get rebounds of 7.5, 8.5, he could go deep into the game against the Hawks. Let's say the Hawks do blow the Rockets out today, which is possible, coming off of a loss against the Heat, divisional opponent. It's possible the Hawks go crazy today, maybe try to go crazy against the Rockets. But I feel as though Alperen Şengün may play deep into the game, and there may be value on his rebounds, possibly his assists at 2.5 or 3.5 over. But I think his rebounds may be in play if he plays the minutes that he's been getting recently. The rookie Alperen Şengün. All right, I'm going to get to a couple of picks that I did play early. Okay, we still at this hour. Okay, at this hour, anything can change with Nick Nurse right now. Anything can change, but at this hour, the Toronto Raptors have a projected starting lineup with Fred VanVleet, possibly playing today. Gary Trent Jr., OG Anunoby is questionable. Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, RJ Barrett is going to be out. I was pretty surprised this line was this low. I know that the odds makers know that the Raptors don't necessarily have the motivation right now in this game, maybe. But I still feel as though the Raptors can crush the Knicks in their current state, even with only 3 out of their 5 starters. Even if only 2 or 3 of their starters played today, I believe that this line may be over adjusted, and I've taken the Raptors. First half minus 2.5 quarter unit bet against the New York Knicks today. Quarter unit max for me here because of the wild card with the injury reports. May add more to it by game time, but not really sure about that. Raptors first half minus 2.5. They just don't have. It's the front line. Let's see if Mitchell Robinson plays today. He can be a difference maker because of his size, but he generally doesn't go to up to 30 minutes. This is a team with a young guy in Scotty Barnes. He's a motor. He's a workhorse. This guy is going crazy. He is developing right before our eyes rapidly. He's a playmaker. He's not going to play anything less than 30 minutes tonight. Gary Trent Jr., this could be a great tune-up game for him right before the playoffs. Pascal Siakam is the one who I would advise. I'm not a professional basketball coach, but I would advise Nick Nurse to maybe scale Pascal Siakam's minutes back a bit just today. He's been maxed out recently, but I feel as though even if Pascal Siakam plays 25 to 30 minutes, the Raptors have the quality, they have the effort, they have the intensity, they have the intangibles that don't necessarily show up in the box score on a night in, night out basis to get this New York Knicks team that has a pretty lackluster defense out of the way. Let's see how it goes. I've taken the Raptors first half minus 2.5 for a quarter unit bet. The next bet that I've placed may not be popular, but it's also only a quarter unit bet. And it comes in the matchup between the Boston Celtics and the Memphis Grizzlies. Let me pull something up. Yeah, the Memphis Grizzlies are coming off of a record-breaking performance yesterday. They scored the most points in one quarter in NBA history. I believe it was 55. You can correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. But second night of a back-to-back, essentially locked in. The Celtics do have something to play for. They can be the 3rd seed. They can get as high as 2nd today. They can fall as low as 4th. It's really, really up in the air today. It's such a tight finish to the race. They still have their main guys projected to play today. The Grizzlies, they didn't expend a lot of energy yesterday against the Pelicans. It was a solid team effort. But I believe that the defenses of both of these teams will shine today, and maybe cancel each other out right before the playoffs. I believe that this is going to be a game that's decided by perimeter defense. It's going to be difficult for both teams to reach their excellent level of three-point shooting that they've set as of late. I know John Morant is back in the fold, but I'm anticipating a bit of a lower scoring game here. So this one's not going to be the most popular pick. I'll share the pick and I'll just keep it brief. Celtics and Grizzlies under 227.5. Quarter unit bet today. I believe in the Boston Celtics defense. I know Robert Williams isn't there. The Memphis Grizzlies Saturday night, yesterday, big time win in Memphis. I think overall, this is a team that maybe looking towards the playoffs. Now, I know yesterday was a great tune-up game for them, but I feel like the Celtics are going to come with a certain energy today, at least defensively, try to muddy things up. It won't be as easy to get to the free throw line as it was yesterday against the Pelicans. The game was stopping like every 3 minutes. And the line is also dropping as well. I'm not really the biggest like market sentiment person in terms of like line movement, but the total is dropping. I believe it was 228.5 last night. So that's two picks early at this time. Plenty of games today to watch. I'm gonna go on Twitter and more commentary, more analysis. I'll tweet the picks on Twitter as well. I really appreciate everyone watching the live stream. NBA betting today. Follow me on Twitter at MyGuyKnowsAGuy. As I said, I'm going with the Toronto Raptors first half -2.5 for a quarter unit bet. And I'm going with the Boston Celtics Memphis Grizzlies under 227.5 for a quarter unit bet. Rewind the video for early player prop projections. I will tweet a couple that I play on Twitter as well. Shout out to my Telegram group, private group, amazing stuff going on. Consider joining if you want to take things a bit further. Free picks will continue every single day. Have some exciting stuff on the way. Hit like on the video and subscribe to the channel if this is your first time watching, or if you're watching on Twitter, come over to the app. And good morning to everyone in the chat as well. I really appreciate it. The chat thing is like kind of freezing up. Chris, my dog, I really appreciate you, bro. 77 figures, 205 furlough for Leezy. What's going on, dog? Let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it. Best of luck. Turn notifications on. May come back on later.